In the world of Greek mythology, few stories are as heartbreaking as the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice. Orpheus, a gifted musician whose melodies could charm even the gods, is best known for his tragic descent into the underworld. There, he sought to bring his beloved wife, Eurydice, back from the dead. But despite his legendary talent and undying love, he made one fatal mistake, a mistake that would cost him everything. Today, we delve into the myth of Orpheus, the man who journeyed to the very heart of death to retrieve his wife and lost her forever. Orpheus was no ordinary man. He was the son of the god Apollo and the muse Calliope, and he possessed a gift that set him apart from all others: his music. Orpheus' songs were so beautiful that they could soothe even the wildest beasts, make trees sway, and even move the stones of the earth. His lyre had the power to charm all living things, and it was his music that won the heart of Eurydice, a nymph of the forests. The two were deeply in love, and their bond seemed unbreakable. Together, they lived a life of peace and happiness, their love as natural as the sun and the sky. But their happiness was not destined to last. One fateful day, as Eurydice danced in a meadow, tragedy struck. While Eurydice was enjoying the beauty of nature, a deadly snake lurking in the grass bit her on the heel. In an instant, the joyous life she had once known was shattered. Eurydice fell to the ground, her body succumbing to the poison, and she died before Orpheus could reach her. Devastated by the loss of his beloved wife, Orpheus fell into a deep mourning. His grief was so overwhelming that he stopped playing his lyre, no longer finding solace in music. But he knew there was only one place where he might find her again: the underworld. Unable to accept Eurydice's death, Orpheus decided to venture into the underworld itself, a place where few mortals dared to go. Armed with nothing but his lyre, he embarked on a dangerous journey into the realm of the dead, hoping that his music would once again move the hearts of the gods. Orpheus' music was so powerful that even the spirits of the dead were moved by it. The souls of the underworld wept as they heard his songs, and even the stern and fearsome guardians of the dead, like Cerberus, the three-headed dog, could not resist his charm. The underworld was in awe of his music, and soon word reached Hades and Persephone, the rulers of the dead, of this mortal who dared to enter their realm. Moved by Orpheus' music and his undying love for Eurydice, Hades and Persephone decided to grant him a rare favor. They listened to his plea and, for the first time, allowed a mortal to negotiate with the gods of the underworld. Orpheus sang a song that echoed through the chambers of the underworld, his voice filled with heartache, love, and desperation. The souls of the dead, even the gods themselves, were deeply touched by his song. His music softened the hearts of Hades and Persephone, and they decided to give Orpheus one chance to retrieve his wife. But there was a catch. "You may take Eurydice back to the world of the living," Hades said, "but there is one condition you must obey. You may not look back at her until you both have left the underworld. If you do, she will be lost to you forever." Orpheus, desperate to reunite with Eurydice, agreed to the terms. He took one last look at the shadows of the underworld and began his journey back, knowing that time was running out. As Orpheus and Eurydice made their way out of the underworld, Orpheus could hear her footsteps behind him, soft, almost ethereal, but unmistakable. He was filled with hope, knowing that he was almost free from the underworld's grasp. But doubt crept into his mind. Had the gods truly forgiven him? Was she really there, behind him? Could it be that she was a mere shadow of his imagination? In his heart, Orpheus feared the worst, and in that moment of fear, he made his fatal mistake. Unable to resist the urge to see his beloved, Orpheus turned his head. But as his eyes met hers, Eurydice's form began to fade, slowly, like mist dissipating in the morning sun. Orpheus had broken the one rule that Hades had set before him. As he turned to look, Eurydice vanished from his sight, her figure becoming a mere wisp of smoke. Orpheus, in his desperation, had sealed their fate. Orpheus, now filled with endless sorrow, watched as Eurydice disappeared for the second time. This time, for good. She was gone, lost to the underworld forever, and there was no turning back. His love for her had brought him to the brink of life and death, but his own doubt and impatience had cost him everything. From that moment on, Orpheus was never the same. He wandered the earth, lost in his grief, and vowed never to love again. He no longer played his lyre to charm nature or soothe the wild creatures. Instead, his music was filled with sorrow and heartbreak. Orpheus' story did not end in peace. In his mourning, he became distant from the world around him. His music, once so full of life, had turned into a mournful wail, a constant reminder of what he had lost. It was said that he would not even look upon the faces of women, forever haunted by the memory of Eurydice. In the end, it was his inability to move on that led to his demise. According to one version of the myth, a group of frenzied followers of Dionysus, enraged by his refusal to honor their god, tore him apart. His body was scattered across the land, but his music lived on, even in death. And so, the tragic story of Orpheus and Eurydice serves as a reminder of love, loss, and the irreversible consequences of our actions. Though Orpheus could charm the gods themselves with his music, it was his own doubts and fear that led to the most sorrowful of endings. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Greek mythology. If you enjoyed this tale of love and tragedy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more mythological stories. Until next time, remember to cherish every moment you have with those you love.